Beyonce thing came when a friend of mine who knew her, somebody in her camp, and she said something supposedly, this is all hearsay, about regarding saying Ramir needs to go away little boy, something to that effect. It was something out there.
What if a single cotton swab could topple hip-hop's royal family? In 3 days, a California judge expects Shawn Jay-Z Carter to answer one explosive question. Are you Ramir Satterthwaite's father, or have you been running from the truth for 33 years? The countdown is ticking, the rumors are roaring, and rap's loudest instigators are adding fuel. Stick around, because every twist in this story leads somewhere darker, and maybe straight to a DNA lab. July 2025 felt ordinary, until a terse court order hit the public docket. Defendant's deadline to respond is extended to July 18, 2025. No further continuances will be granted. Translation: Jay-Z, the same mogul who once delayed a federal SEC deposition with a world tour schedule, just ran out of runway. His lawyer spun it as routine housekeeping, but the hip-hop internet heard a gong. The undefeated Titan finally has to step into the ring. You could almost feel the shockwave on X as hashtags DNA for Hove and hashtag Who Shot Ya trend exploded in parallel. The clerk stamp wasn't flashy, yet it landed like a left hook. Ramir, meanwhile, celebrated in the least glamorous way possible. He posted a grainy PDF of the order on Instagram with a simple caption, "We're finally being heard." No champagne, no bravado, just relief.
But people were saying that she's a big part of the problem for him, and some of the things that she was doing, a woman would not.
For him, the date isn't a news cycle gimmick. It's the finish line he's been crawling towards since Obama's first term. One piece of paper, 3 lines of text, and suddenly America's first hip-hop billionaire looks more cornered than ever. Brief pause here, because while a deadline might feel procedural, in the celebrity legal world, it's a big deal. Famous defendants thrive on delays. Continuances, venue changes, sealed exhibits, surprise illnesses. Strip away those toys and you strip away leverage. By putting the clock on Hove, Judge Collier essentially said, "Your money doesn't buy you months anymore, let's go." But who is brave, or stubborn, enough to drag Shawn Carter into court? Meet Ramir. He was born in Philadelphia in 1993 with a 2-syllable cry and a 1-parent birth certificate. His mother Wanda, 16 at the time, marked Robert Graves, the live-in boyfriend, as the father. Nobody blinked. Teen pregnancies in the neighborhood were common, and Robert stuck around. Then, when Ramir turned 8, Wanda sat her son down on a sagging sofa and changed his entire sense of self with one line, "I think Jay-Z is your real dad." Let that sink in if you're a kid. You've just learned fractions. You're worried about your jump shot, and suddenly, your mom says the guy commanding every radio station might be your father?
Oh, she would have some sort of role in what her husband does. And if she was secure with herself and with the situation, not saying you gotta like it, she would help her husband handle it.
For years, Ramir bottled the information like a genie in a cracked lamp. He finished elementary school, then high school, all while carrying that secret in a backpack heavier than his textbooks. Fast forward to 2011. Robert Graves took a DNA test as part of a routine child support reevaluation. Results came back negative. He wasn't the dad, legally or genetically. The courts wiped Robert's name off the certificate, leaving the father field blank. Wanda, now older, repeated her story. 1992, a borrowed Lexus, a 2-hour drive from Philly to Brooklyn, broken protection, an aunt's apartment. Ramir didn't just hear the words, he felt the timeline solidify. That day, he started calling attorneys. People think the toughest part of paternity cases is the science. Wrong. It's the cost. DNA kits are cheap. Lawyers are not. Ramir juggled warehouse night shifts, community college tuition, and mounting legal bills. He taught himself civil procedure while his friends streamed Rock Nation artists. He skipped vacations, sold a beat-up Yamaha synth, and declined label showcases because every spare dollar funded subpoenas. He even wrote Carter Truth Fund on savings account deposit slips as a joke to bank tellers. The obsession, he admits, almost wrecked his mental health. And his target? A man who once rapped, "I will not lose." So Ramir claims the system itself started playing defense. Ramir's early filings bounced between Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey like misrouted luggage. Judges dismissed on jurisdiction, then on standing, then on statute of limitations, each ruling chipping at his resolve.
Do you believe wholeheartedly that Jay's your father?
I really do. And if it's not, why you can't prove me wrong? Like, it's not far as a proving me wrong thing. It's go to the courtroom and basically do what everybody else would have to do.
But the weird part wasn't the denials, it was the disappearances. According to Ramir, sealed motions vanished from dockets. Clerks lost entire case files. An appellate brief returned from a courier service signed for but never delivered. Conspiracy or clerical chaos? He leans conspiracy, pointing to one jaw-dropping anecdote. In 2016, a county clerk allegedly whispered, "We're under pressure to make this go away," before shutting her window. Jay-Z's team calls the story fan fiction, but Ramir gathered affidavits from 2 former courthouse employees who swear they witnessed unusual external inquiries whenever his file number hit the queue. He also unearthed 3 different lawyers, hired, then suddenly conflicted out, who each refunded his retainer with nearly identical letters citing irreconcilable conflicts. He thinks big money greased small hinges, spinning the legal doors closed. The heaviest allegation? That Jay-Z dodged DNA to avoid statutory grape scrutiny. Wanda was 16, Jay-Z 22. Ramir's filings hammer this potential crime, arguing it gave Carter motive to stall. The statute of limitations may offer cover, but reputational fallout doesn't expire. No brand, not even a billionaire's, wants headlines about crossing state lines with a minor. For every claim, Team Carter counters with an inch-high stack of rulings that already tossed similar arguments. They accuse Ramir of harassing litigation, ignoring res judicata, and drumming up social media mobs. Their narrative? An opportunist chasing money and clout. Ramir's rebuttal? If it's about clout, swab up and shut me down.
Yeah. Are you scared for your life now? It's unfortunate that you were shot at. I'm glad that you were okay from that. Do you think that was a situation where you were targeted? And if so, are you scared for your life?
No, I'm not scared for my life. I mean, it was a scary situation.
Back and forth, court of public opinion style, and then 2 very loud voices joined the spectator section, turning whispers into a thunderstorm. Say what you want about Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, he has a 6th sense for virality. Minutes after the July court order hit Twitter, 50 posted a split screen. Young Jay-Z on the left, Ramir on the right, both wearing half smirks. Caption, "He got his nose." 9 laughing emojis. 2 million impressions in under an hour. Algorithmic gold. 50 followed up with a video. "Yo, if this turns out true, Jay gonna have to drop 444 Jr. I'm producing the doc. Netflix, call me." Mainstream outlets clutch pearls at his trolling, but fans lap it up. Suddenly, late-night talk shows angle jokes about Maury Povich Rock Nation edition. Every comedic riff adds another spotlight on Ramir. Another migraine for Jay's PR team. Enter Nicki Minaj, torch in hand. For years, she's hinted that Rock Nation stifled her releases, blocked festival slots, shadow banned her fan accounts. Now she has a headline perfect for payback. She retweets 50's meme with the line, "Is this why he was trending the other day? IDK. To God be the glory." The post racks up 4 million likes. 2 days later, Nicki goes live on Queen Radio, devoting 20 minutes to industry chokeholds and people in high offices owing me checks. She never says Jay-Z, but listeners connect the dots the way detectives string yarn on a corkboard. Her fandom, the Barbs, mobilize faster than any political pack. They mine old articles, dissect court documents, create side-by-side facial feature graphics comparing Ramir and Hove. It's messy, but engagement numbers soar. Brands sigh. Rock Nation partners furiously refresh sentiment dashboards. Meanwhile, Ramir finally enjoys algorithmic wind at his back. His follower count jumps from 17K to 880K in 6 weeks. And overnight, he's verifying multiple social media platform handles just to fend off imposters. The louder supporters shouted, the more Carter's circle allegedly tightened the vice.
I'm not pointing no fingers. I'm just asking everybody, all the judges or anybody who's working on the case, to do what's right and do their job the correct way, even if you overlook something or didn't see something. Everybody makes mistakes, as I said before, but you know, it's time to actually do your job and look at everything and get it correct.
There's no public comment from Beyoncé, but rumors swirl like confetti in a stadium. Ramir's godmother claims someone she recognized from B's camp visited her rural property at sundown and hissed, "Tell your little boy to disappear." She couldn't prove it, but the anecdote darted through gossip sites in minutes. Another blogger cites an anonymous source who says the Carters have spent high six figures on litigation containment strategy. Rumor? Sure, but in the absence of official statements, the void fills with speculation. And then there's the Jersey property bombshell. Jay-Z's lawyers long argued he had no residential ties to New Jersey, which mattered because Ramir sued in that state. No residence equals no jurisdiction equals case dismissed. But in Tina Knowles' 2019 memoir, Mother of Reinvention, she mentions the family juggling a Manhattan renovation and a temporary waterfront condo across the river in New Jersey. Ramir's legal team snapped that quote, attached Zillow receipts showing Carter-affiliated LLC ownership, and the judge's eyebrow launched to orbit. One footnote in a memoir torpedoed a core defense. If Carter had property, jurisdiction stands. Suddenly, the case looked less like a nuisance and more like a viable claim. Team Carter countered. The condo belonged to a management company, not Shawn personally. Plus, the timing didn't overlap Ramir's early suits. Lawyers argued irrelevant, immaterial. Still, the optics stung. Beyoncé's name trending alongside paternity and statutory is not the synergy her brand campaigns crave during a Renaissance tour merch drop. As accusations and denials volleyed, a darker narrative resurfaced. Intimidation tactics stretching far beyond this case. Meet Damori Hadley, estranged daughter of Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez. She shocked the internet when she filed a lawsuit alleging her mother committed her to a mental institution for leverage. In a YouTube sit-down, Damori says Roc Nation silences critics and abused Nicki Minaj's freedom of speech. Critics labeled her claims sensational.
I was 7. My mom had to sit down with me. I guess she thought I was old enough to know now, and she been saying Shawn Carter, that's what she was calling him at first before she was calling it Jay-Z, and I really didn't.
Yet they echoed whispers around industry circles. Mess with Roc Nation, expect repercussions. Combine that with Ramir's alleged missing filings and mysterious property visit, and a pattern emerges, at least in clickbait headlines. Nicki, now fully unchained, shouted out Damori's interview on X. This is bigger than rap. She accused shadow banning, withheld royalties, and a campaign to turn her husband, Kenneth Petty, into a liability. Jay-Z's team rolled eyes in legal motions, dismissing tabloid theatrics. But for fans, perception shapes reality faster than any notarized rebuttal. The more Nicki complained, the more trending topics ballooned. Ramir's story fused with wider allegations of corporate bullying, forming one giant snowball barreling downhill. For Ramir, those intimidation stories weren't conspiracies. They were Tuesday. Financial fallout. Retroactive child support from birth until 18, plus potential reimbursement for college costs. Some estimates float 7 figures. Chump change for a billionaire? Maybe, but add legal fees, possible statutory claims, and a civil suit for emotional damage, and we're creeping toward 8 figures. Criminal exposure. Official prosecution for events in 1992 is unlikely. Statutes expired, but moral judgment lives forever online. Sponsors, investors, and board seats can evaporate faster than a Spotify stream if headlines scream underage interstate encounter. Brand erosion. The Carters built an empire on aspirational family imagery, Grammy stage kisses, Ivy Park mother-daughter campaigns, Blue Ivy bidding 6 figures at charity auctions. A confirmed love child reframes that fairy tale. Legacy media would feast, gossip channels would gorge. Every meme of Jay-Z's face on Maury's body slashes brand equity a little deeper. Estate complications, secondary heirs scramble trusts. Publishing splits mutate. Future business valuations factor in legal uncertainty. Remember Hoov's $300 million post-tax sale of Tidal stakes? Imagine renegotiating those earnouts while paternity litigation hovers. Precedent peril. If Jay-Z is forced into DNA testing, other claimants might resurface. The industry is rife with rumors of tour bus trysts.
Know who that was because I was young and, had my little brother, and I really wasn't worrying about it. She was saying it a lot, but this was going along with the person I was just seeing, like the person I looked at who was taking care of me at that time. I really wasn't really trying to understand what my mom was talking about, but she constantly put it in my head like, son, it's not your father, and I really want you to know it is. This person is your father.
Even a clean result could encourage lawsuits from unrelated clout seekers. Lose once, fight echoes for years. Jay's July 14th response calls Ramir's case decades-long harassment. He lists previous dismissals, includes a motion for sanctions, and attaches an expert affidavit stating the case fails on facts, law, jurisdiction, and equity. Notably absent, voluntary consent for DNA. The refusal acts like rocket fuel for speculation. If you're innocent, why not prove it in 5 minutes? The answer, or deflection, has to arrive by July 18th. Here's how the endgame might play out. Scenario A. Compliance. Jay-Z gives a sample. Lab takes 48 hours. Negative result? World yawns. Gossip pages apologize. Ramir's GoFundMe dries up. Jay emerges vindicated, spins narrative into a Hulu doc on false accusations. Positive? Carter empire earthquakes. Beyoncé retreats behind iron PR gates. Oprah clears primetime. Netflix offers Ramir 8 figures. Scenario B. Settlement. Confidential payout, sealed results, NDAs. Ramir signs, disappears to an island. Blogs speculate forever. Public never learns the outcome, but suspicion lingers. Jay saves face, yet shoulders permanent doubt. Scenario C. Defiance. Jay refuses. Judge enforces paternity statutes, maybe fines or threatened contempt. Media frenzy. Fans camp outside the courthouse. 50 Cent sells limited edition Swab or Shut Up t-shirts. All proceeds to Ramir's legal fund, naturally. Behind the scenes, insiders whisper about a 4th door. Strategic delay 2.0. Carter's team could file an 11th hour motion, jurisdictional challenge, bankruptcy of a holding LLC, anything to pause the clock. But Judge Collier signaled zero patience for stall tactics. Another delay could backfire, branding Jay as an obstructionist. Rally watch. 50 Cent schedules a YouTube live countdown, complete with theme graphics and hourly guest attorneys. Nicki's Barbs plan Twitter spaces dissecting each docket entry. Even NBA players tweet eye emoji reactions. The hip-hop internet loves spectacle, and this is courtroom gladiator combat. Which brings us back to where we started. 1 cotton swab and a 33-year mystery. So here we are, a billionaire facing the most personal subpoena imaginable, a determined Philly son guarding bullet scar memories, and a fan base hungry for truth. Or at least a binge-worthy cliffhanger. In 3 days, the judge's gavel will either crack open hip-hop's most whispered secret or slam the door on it for good. What do you think will happen? Does Jay-Z comply and finally silence the whispers? Does he buy silence with signatures? Or does he gamble on another legal escape route and risk wearing the villain badge forever?